What's good, y'all? FISK Vegas, the hardest voice of sports. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the FISK. You know why you at it. Y'all know what time it is. If you ain't with it, you best get with it. Now let's ride. Listen, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I have a love-hate relationship with Dave Gettleman. So when they say they're bringing Dave Gettleman back, I'm not mad. I'm not necessarily in love with it, but I'm not mad. You know, those of y'all who, it's not a secret, I live in North Carolina. Alright, my hometown team is the Carolina Panthers. I live down here in Carolina. I'm in the sticks, middle of nowhere. I make jokes all the time that my neighbors got a farm. They got horses, they got chickens running around, they got pigs. I ain't lying to you either. I'm dead serious. It's like 1855, like literally around the corner from me. They got a nice piece of land. But all jokes aside, being in North Carolina, I know Dave Gettleman a little bit better than most Giants fans do, because most Giants fans, you know, y'all only know him for his stint in New York. Well, when Dave Gettleman got the job and he got rid of Odell Beckham, it hurt my feelings more than it hurt y'all feelings, because he did the same thing to Steve Smith. I lived through that. Steve Smith was one of my favorite players. Why do you think Cam Newton was my favorite non-Giant? Because I live in Carolina. I watch Cam Newton every Sunday. Y'all always say, FISK, why do you take up for Cam Newton so much? FISK, why did you root for the Patriots? I love Cam Newton. I watch this guy every Sunday for 7-8 years. I get every Panther game. I get more Panther game than Giants games. I gotta stream half my Giants games. So it's like, when I watch Dave Gettleman refuse to give Cam Newton help, when I watched him get rid of Steve Smith, when I watched him let Josh Norman walk out the door, when I watched him get ready to cut Greg Olsen because he didn't want to give him an extension, I've watched Dave Gettleman do some wild shit. I've watched Dave Gettleman do some cheap, wild shit down here in Carolina, fellas. So when I speak about Dave Gettleman, I speak from experience. So when I said, I know Dave Gettleman has done some good things, but for the safety and security of Daniel Jones, it's best we move on from Dave Gettleman. I meant that. Dave Gettleman did a great job with the defense of Carolina. He did a great job with that offensive line in that secondary, in that defensive line in Carolina. He did a great job. He drafted James Bradberry. Hello, let's not forget, James Bradberry was a Gettleman pick way out there in Carolina. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Gettleman, the GM, as far as building a team. Hell, look what he's done with the Giants. Look at our defense. Look at what he's done for the offensive line. He's good at building a team. My gripe with Gettleman is he ignores the wide receiver position. And in 2021, it's the most important position on the football field besides the quarterback. You saw what Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen. You saw what DeAndre Hopkins did for Kyler Murray. Hell, look at Deshaun Watson without DeAndre Hopkins. How many more games? Because they lost a lot of one-possession games. How many more games you think the Texans would have won if D-Hop was still there in Houston? You feel me? Mitchell Trubisky, could you imagine what Mitchell Trubisky would look like without Allen Robinson? So it's like, you need the wide receiver position. In Carolina, he never got Cam Newton, a replacement for Steve Smith. Look what he did to Daniel Jones. He got rid of Odell and replaced him with the corpse of Golden Tate. So I'm going to be blunt with you. I like Gettleman, the team builder. I'm just worried that all Gettleman cares about is running the football and throwing checkdowns to the tight end. Hello, what did Cam Newton have in Carolina, people? He had a burner. He had a burner in Ted Ginn, Darius Slayton, a check down guy in Philly Brown, Sterling Shepard, a tight end, and who he thought was good. Well, Greg Olsen was an elite tight end. Greg Olsen was the shit. Evan Ingram on his best day isn't Greg Olsen. But guess what? He's got Evan Ingram, and guess what he had? A running back. Whether it was Jonathan Stewart or it was Christian McCaffrey, who he drafted a year before Saquon. So, at the end of the day, he's trying to replicate what he did in Carolina with the Giants. And that's what I'm worried about, people. It's 2021. You can't win football games running the ball and playing defense no more. You can't do it. Hello, the Tennessee Titans. You know that guy who rushed for 2,000 yards? You are aware that their quarterback has top 5 numbers? Have you seen Ryan Tannehill's numbers? Have you seen AJ Brown numbers? That is an offense. It's not just Derrick Henry. It's a whole offense. Dalvin Cook, the second best running back this year. Have you heard of a guy named Justin Jefferson? Have you heard of a guy named Adam Thielen? So Saquon Barkley hasn't been right since we got rid of Odell. All I'm saying is this. As long as Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge are willing to address the wide receiver position, I'm fine. But you know why we're not in the playoffs right now? Because our offense stinks. Our defense gave up 22 points a game. Our offense is trash. And it's not all Daniel Jones' fault. So, man, look. Gettleman, please don't do Daniel Jones like you did Cam Newton. That's all I ask, man. If he was to ever hear this video, or somebody can clip the video, send it. All I ask of Dave Gettleman, please do not bury Daniel Jones the way you bury Cam Newton. Get this boy some help. Get this boy some freaking help. I mean, for real, man. Get this boy some help. It's not fair. Don't bury him the way you bury Cam Newton. Please get this boy some help. And I pray for Daniel Jones, because Joe Judge came from New England. He might hate receivers like Bill Belichick. Damn it. He came from New England, so he might hate receivers too. Hell, we went the whole draft, the deepest wide receiver draft of the decade. We went the whole draft and take one wide receiver. A lot of that's on Joe Judge as well. So Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman hate wide receivers. Daniel Jones, you might be up shit's creek without a paddle, bro. You might be fucked like good pussy. I'm dead serious. You might be fucked. You might be fucked. I'm sorry. You might be fucked. There might be no hope for you, Daniel Jones, because you might have a coach and GM who hate wide receivers. You might be fucked. But I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Shout out to Dave Gettleman. He did the two most important things you're supposed to do as a general manager, which is supply the franchise with a franchise quarterback and a franchise head coach. He did his job. So shout out to Dave Gettleman. But that's it. That's all. Subscribe to the unit if you're rocking with me. My name is FISK Vegas, and I approve this message.